Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Palantalk. It's Nick Parrow on Banner and Backbone. We're hoping that Shane Urich will be able to join us today, our other co host. Um, he's having some technical issues, which, it happens. And we're we're excited to get to talk today anyway. Today's conversation is going to continue our discussion on minimizing metadata and maximizing your impact. Sorry, as I get things started up and get the stream live on my side, so that I can see as I lean around and do weird things, so I can see the live chat. Just give me a second. If you could, yeah, I love drop a hey, where you're from. State is fine. Country. Don't give too much information. That's part of our discussion. Is minimizing metadata, maximizing impact. So um, come say hi. Welcome. It's good to see everyone. I'm just getting fully set up. It takes a little while for the things to come online for us sometimes from the Substack side. That said, let's talk. Um, let's talk minimizing your metadata and maximizing your impact. So, what does that mean? So, let's do a little bit of a recap. Welcome, everyone from we've got Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York. Um, I'm in Arkansas. My co-host is California. We've got a spread across the country. We are also spreading areas across. Sorry, as I talk, I'm closing my office door, make it a little quieter. We're also spreading across multiple countries. We do have plenty of fans and subscribers from Canada at this point, too. We love our northern neighbors. Our network actually enjoys Canada and wants to see it thrive. And the Canadian democracy is alive and well, and we love to see it. And they're pushing back in a lot of really good ways that are really helpful. Welcome from Virginia, also. And so where were we? Sorry, getting back into it. It's been a weekend, and so I'm adjusting right now. I have fibro, and last week was really stressful. My son broke his arm on Thursday night while I was live on a show, and things went a little awry, and so um, it's been a rough weekend. I'm getting back into it mentally too. So stick with me today, y'all, as we go through stuff. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Palantir, Wendy, because they do suck. Like that's one of the main impetuses for this talk, and one of the main starting points is Palantir is the freaking worst. Uh, and but I also want to talk about things that are actionable and things that we can do, and what you can steps you can take, and how you can respond to different things, and ways that you can actually do it um, without having to change habits, and getting to actually continue to live your life, experience your life. But small, simple, actionable things that you can do to minimize your metadata and maximize your impact. So, what is metadata? Metadata are all the little pieces of information that are collected with every single action that you take. That means when, let's take your credit cards, let's take financial, because that's a big one. So when you use a credit card or your debit card, every time you swipe it, there is a authorization and a transaction data point that says date of time when this happened, um, some encoded information around like what what your client ID or something like that is about you, within that system or within your bank account or within your provider's account, and it just gets logged. It has some location information around like where, so they can generally check what store, possibly. So they collect a ton, and then the big pieces are the timestamps, and the geolocation stamps. So Shane talks a lot about this is using cache. Um, we've moved pretty rapidly towards a cashless society, which has its pluses and minuses. One of the minuses is definitely that your bank account could be frozen, and if you have only digital assets, they could just disappear. Which is a real concern, especially with things like crypto. Um, but we also live in a society where you have to use cards and you have to use cashless access. So don't change your habits overall. One of the things that is how you transform basic um, your your basic moves and your basic steps towards uh, sorry towards minimizing what data is collected around your usage. So the big one is like gas or stopping at a gas station. um, so a simple way to minimize your metadata while keeping yourself less tracked and less traced and simpler, and fewer data points all around is, say you get gas, say you need to pay for it in debit or on a credit card because that's the most convenient way, and you don't have cash a lot and you don't want to take cash out all the time in high amounts to be able to do that. Maybe if you're hungry and you want to get something to drink, you go inside, that's where you use your cash. You don't give them the opportunity to trace any more information than you filled up with gas. Also, an easy way to change your metadata so that it's less predictable, which makes you less profilable and less predictable, is you randomly choose to go to a different gas station on your way home. Don't make it super purposeful, but if you're going a different direction home, choose a different gas station. Make it random. Make it once, twice a month, maybe twice in 1 week. Sometimes maybe once in a month, maybe something like that. Make it random. Don't predict. Don't plan to like go to different gas stations all the time. But if you see that you're kind of running low and you're on your way home and it's a different route that you've taken, maybe fill up on gas. Or if you are on a different route home and it's something that you now enjoy, but you don't want to always have, say, people know that you're on that route, is don't fill up on gas on that way home and consistently fill up only at gas stations on your normal scheduled route. That way, when you drive, it's less likely that um, you're pinging uh, card information from one point to another. So that minimizes your metadata a little bit, and gives you alternative routes home. So just like randomly going to different gas stations, sometimes randomly choose to go to different routes home. It's just simple. It's a simple change in habit that doesn't mean you have to change your lifestyle at all. Um, the big thing is in all of this is minimizing your metadata and is the understanding that we cannot change the fact that AI and tools like AI and the collection tools that say Palantir are using are now fully available and and in use. and they're going to be spread widely and used very rapidly if they already aren't throughout the U.S. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, everyone. I see everyone coming in. Thank you all for joining me today. Waiting to see if Shane is able to join. Um, he's having some technical difficulties with his Wi-Fi, and we're just talking about small habit changes that can impact your metadata and help you maximize your personal impact on changing, say, a AI algorithm and police profiling. Um, and so this is an important thing because right now we're in the early stages of AI profiling and a police state. Um, we're going to talk real talk, and we're not going to hide the truth. As Shane likes to say, it is his firebrand messages. It's a brutal truth or honest messages, and I believe that that's a truism that we should follow. Is that we need to be honest about what's here and what's not, what we can and cannot stop. And sometimes it's okay to acknowledge that we can't stop some things. One of those things that we cannot stop is the fact that we now have a police state on top of us, and that we are um, going to have a lot of AI analytics and AI data modeling going on in the background to create a profiling state. Um, Realistically, it's a profiling state more so than a policing state. It's a predictive profiling model that is going to capture and grab as much metadata as possible from every movement and every piece of every camera, every license plate, capture every credit card swipe, everything that they can get their hands on, every medical uh, bill, every hospital visit, every time that you have to make a payment in a transaction, that's a metadata point that's going to get collected. Um, why I say all of that is we cannot change the fact that AI is here and AI predictive analytics are here. What we can do is we can help impact how the modeling is done. And through a collective force of will, we can change AI modeling and AI behavior because it's supposed to learn. And it's AI is a learning algorithm, and large language models and the subsets and the district, whatever they use now for their AI data models specifically, are based on learning algorithms, and that means they learn off of behavior being input into the system. So one of the things that we have control over, and the thing that we actually have the most control over, is inputting data. Where are the data inputs that cannot be controlled? The human factor is always as they call it, the X factor. Um, they can put as many guardrails and things in place as they want to make the system as pro profiling and biased as possible. However, we can overcome those biases and then work to fix those biases with stricter measures, or replace them and purge the data out that is a biased data. That's a long term plan because we're not in control, and we don't have full access to what those data models are capable of accessing and predicting off of and building data off of. Once we have control of those things in the long term, we could remove biasy. However, because we entered the parabolic curve or the exponential growth of technology, that parabolic curve that everybody talks about, where you sort of just go straight up, we hit the just about straight up point with the dumbest people in charge, where we actually needed to have the smartest people in charge to manage policy and build guardrails into the AI models. That being said, we can overcome some of that by using our collective force of will to create new learning pathways. And the easiest way we do that is we all change our behaviors in unpredictable ways. Like I said at the beginning or throughout this, was alter your behavior, but without changing your lifestyle. Do it unpredictably too. And that was where I talked about maybe go to a gas station twice a month differently, different gas station than you would normally go to. Maybe while you're at that gas station, don't do your normal habit of going inside. Maybe stop at a second gas station on the way home or a convenience store to grab something to eat. And make your personal data as unpredictable as possible for a learning model. Because then when it's trying to create predictive responses to it, it has to factor in the unpredictability of you not doing things on a schedule. If you can take your schedule and make it look chaotic, then the algorithm has to learn off that chaos. And that chaos introduces new variables into the models, which means it's less predictable and it's less likely to be able to profile. So if you have the privilege of, say, looking like me, or me, say, as a woman, if you are part of the white group, the whitish or whitest group in this country, make yourself as unpredictable as possible in your profiling, because that helps remove the predictability of other groups too. The power of predictability, and the part of one of the things that they're trying to use this model of predictability is to profile how white people move and to make laws around bettering specifically rich white people, but bettering the lives of white folks in specifically in the immediate term. Um, and so if you're able to ruin that algorithm and ruin the or add chaos points into the algorithm, it makes it less usable and less predictable for other groups. So our collective power isn't just that we have the ability to speak, which, if you're a creator of any sort, please put your content out. Now is the time, because again, that's an unpredictable data point that the AI models and the learning algorithms have to collect, because it's collecting and scraping off the internet, and they can't pull all of us out. Um, how do you make your profile unpredictable for me specifically? Um, or um, or more so just in general? Um, that's a good question. Education is lame, and so I'll give you some time to write out a response if you want to add any more detail there, because I'd love to answer that question. Um, uh, but more if it's a me or versus others. In general, how do you make your profile unpredictable? Just in general. So, like we were talking about, one of the ways to do it is alternating routes on your way home. If you work outside of your house, alternate routes on the way home. But don't plan to alternate routes on the way home. If use your Google Maps sometime or whatever, maybe not follow the routes, but just take a look at your Google Maps on your before you leave work, and just check, oh, what does the time look like on the routes that I might not normally take? This goes for walking, this goes for bus riding, trains, car, any public transportation if it's available, um, or if you're a driver in a car, um, is alternate your route home so you're less predictable. Do it a couple times a month, maybe even a couple times a week. If you, especially if you do a lot of public, if you're say public transportation user or you're a driver who drives a lot, alternate your routes a lot. Just do it unpredictably, like take random turns that you know are going to lead you to the same destination, but take that random like side road that you've always wanted to go down, um, or side street that you've always wanted to go down that you know is safe, or that you know you can go down without um, endangering yourself in any way. Like, don't put yourself in danger. Especially if you're a woman, don't put yourself in danger. And always keep yourself safe. Always keep yourself somewhere well lit. Always keep yourself um, in an area that's easily visible. I know that the common thing for people to say is don't scream help if someone attacks you, or if someone comes at you, is scream fire or scream something else. And I highly recommend that, because most men don't listen if you scream help, but we will listen. I don't, I don't know why. I listen when I perk up real quick when people scream help. Um, but uh, if you scream something, don't just scream help. Especially, like, make sure it's very visible. That if something were to happen, but keep yourself safe in your unpredictability. So, like, just alternate routes on the way home is the easiest first step. Alternate where you get your groceries at. It's not it's not changing how you live. The big thing I want to make sure I get across is don't change how you live. I don't want you to change your lifestyles. I'm not changing my lifestyle. Don't change your lifestyle. Just change small pieces of it randomly. Add add chaos points. Go on that trip, like I said, down the side road that you always wanted to go down. If you um, if you are out in public a lot, here's another easy thing you can do, especially for um, anyone, just in general, is if you have headpieces and scarves or hats or headwear that you would wear, or different earrings and things that are like obvious and very common that you would do, alternate them. If you don't wear hats normally or headwear, try getting a few. See what you look like. I bet you're going to look really good in a hat. Most people do. Um, and I bet you're going to feel really good when you go outside in a hat and you look good and your head is shaded and you're having a great time, or it's raining and your head's a little shaded and you're not getting rain on your face all the time. And if you're in a place where there's city cameras and street cameras and things that are above you, when you're wearing a hat, your face is not visible to those. Your face is less visible. Um, and so you don't even have to change your habits doing that. You just alter your clothes a little bit, not to hide, not to hide who you are. And I talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think it was the point isn't to hide who you are. The point is just to make yourself less visible from known collection points. And most cameras are above us. Most cameras that are in cities and streets are on lamp poles or buildings, and they're higher up because they have a better vantage point. And so if you have something on your head from above, it's harder to see your face, especially if it's got a larger brim in the front, that you can easily maybe keep your head slightly down, keeping your eyes up, making sure you're aware, but wearing a hat. Um, if it's somewhat sunny out, wear sunglasses. Get a pair of sunglasses that you, um, for women, if you love big I would absolutely encourage that style coming back in, like big, bold sunglasses that fucking look amazing and make you feel good while you're wearing them, hell yeah. Those with cool hats, love it. Like, make yourself look fun and cool while you're doing it, but make yourself sort of stylishly blend in with what gear you have. That way, your face isn't quite so visible because then you're less likely to be identified individually. And that's part of tricking the system, is if it makes more generic data points too, that are chaotic and that have less metadata tied to them, and are less easily attached to a group other than, say, white or black or Hispanic. Like, if we can boil it down to those root groups, that's actually the best. That's the best outcome because that's what they learn the most off of. Um, and so, unfortunately, we have to make our tags, or fortunately, I guess, we have to make our identities in this time a little bit less visible for a moment, until we can trick the system into not hurting us, because we're right now at the beginning of fascism in America, and uh, the attempt to make an apartheid state out of techno fascism using security and AI algorithmic based police work, predictive policing, but it's predictive profiling. Um, and one of the main groups that is behind all of it is Palantir, and Flock Security. Those are two of the main groups that are pushing, um, and have the contracts with DHS or within the government that allow them now for internal monitoring. Um, and so, yeah, so even in grocery stores, everything is recording your face at this point. Like, that's one of the reasons I say wear a hat, maybe wear sunglasses. If you have a cold or feel sick in any way, just wear a simple mask. Just wear just a simple, nonchalant face mask. Not anything stylish or overly recognizable, but just something simple. One, make sure that your health is key and takes priority. Like, the mask isn't for hiding, the mask is for your health, the mask is for your health and collective health, or health, of people around you. Like, don't go out and get other people sick. Like, most Asian cultures, masks are a common thing when you're sick. Like, if you go anywhere in Asia, they wear masks when they're sick. Like, that should be just a common practice. It's just polite. It's polite not to cough all over people and spread your germs. Like, I think it's okay that we could take that narrative back and just say, yo, you're pieces of shit for wanting to get other people sick, especially if you're going to remove CDC guidelines and protections around viruses and um, bring about diseases and things that we had gotten rid of. And so it's really shitty. But we can take narratives back, and I don't frame things in the right wing narratives or in their viewpoints. So wear a mask for health and safety, for yourself and others. And it also offers a convenient way to hide your face if you're sick. So if you feel a cold or sick in any way, or you're going out with someone who's sick that you know is sick, have them wear a mask, you wear a mask. Just get normal basic black or gray or pink or whatever color mask you want that's sort of just nonchalant. Um, and so face coverings, headgear. If you like scarves, if you like I said, if you like hats with brims, wear those. They're simple. You probably already have one anyway, so uh, you won't have to go out and buy something. Um, Try not to buy things if you don't have to. If you're going to buy things, here's another simple way to minimize your metadata: is go find secondhand and use clothes stores, especially local ones that accept cash, and buy clothes from them. Um, Buy clothes from them because you're not only supporting a local business, but you're also not feeding into the consumerism of all of this that is leading to the issues. And again, the smaller footprint you can make in terms of metadata that's collectible, that's tangible to other things, the better. Um, you want to you want to make yourself as simple as possible, um, and keep your lifestyle. So you don't have to change your lifestyle. I bet most of us buy secondhand or used stuff anyway. So it's not a change in our lifestyle, but just do it more often, or do it locally and find a couple stores and randomly select one day. Is randomly go into one of the stores that you like, buy some new things, get rid of some of your old clothes, donate them, um, and just do simple things like that, or even barter and trade with your friends and your neighbors. Like do things that don't require money. Do services for each other. Make your community communal. Like work with each other, do things for each other, give each other things in trade. Like if you have a ton of tomatoes in your backyard in a garden and you don't know what to do with them, give them to your neighbors, or can them and see if somebody wants some canned tomatoes for trade for something that you might need. Like if you need a cutting board and somebody wants tomatoes, see if you have enough tomatoes to trade them to have them make you a cutting board or something, or a rolling pin or something like that. Like be creative with each other on the things that you might need, or if like go to garage sales and yard sales and things like that. Buy local, buy secondhand. Don't feed into the major consumerism bullshit that's going on, because that's a main data point collector. Like every single time you buy something, you are creating a data point. Every time you're online, you're really creating a data point too. So it's hard at times. Like you're not going to get away from all of it. And yeah, going back into the chat to other simple ways. I'm catching up on some of the things I stopped at one point because I saw education. You had a comment, and then right after MJ, you had a comment too. Um, is education. You always say, I advise people I know to disconnect their facial recognition software when leaving the country or use a temp phone. I would even just suggest you disconnect your facial recognition software on your phone at this point anyway, and use only a manual password, because it's going to be all too easy in the US for them to just trick you or say that your rights don't exist the way they are, or they make a new regulation that says they can open your phone from a facial recognition internally and not just when you leave the country. Like that's not a far cry from what they can and would and will do. So just stop using the facial recognition on your phones. Cookies, that's a good question. Let me get to that here in a minute. I want to address the Qasim Rashid thing that's going on, because I know I've met Qasim now, and actually he's going to be coming back on my show on Monday the 8th. Hey Kimmy, it's good to see you. Good to have you here. Um, and so Qasim's coming back on my show on the 8th, and he's a really good guy. Like, he really cares. He's earnest. He's truthful. He It's really sad to see them going after him for this garbage. Um, Lawrence Winterman and I spoke with Qasim about confronting genocide, because one of the comments I made, and Qasim liked and restacked it once on a video of ours, was that the only way to an ethno state is through genocide. And we're seeing that play out right now in Gaza and Palestine. And I'm Jewish, and I disagree with what Israel is doing, like, vehemently. I do not think what they're doing is okay. It needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. Like, they did what they needed um, to prevent another terrorist attack, and then they went too far, and then they kept going too far, and they keep going too far, and they're not going to stop. And not enough is being done to stop them. And the UN has apparently abdicated a lot of its power or will to do anything, and it's really, really disappointing. Um, and I'm excited to speak with him again, because he's an incredibly powerful figure in this. His voice is really important. Um, and I really enjoyed speaking with him last time. And so our next conversation is going to be called Hope Through Action. So I hope y'all join us for that one. It does feed into all of this, but I wanted to make sure we addressed that, because the incident that's going on for Qasim, because he attacking people like this for their licenses and possibly, like, censoring them in this way is bigoted. It is whitewashing. It is destructive. And it's hateful. Qasim is telling the truth. He's being honest. He's reporting information and data. He's speaking about apartheid. He's speaking about the dangers from Israel, and I'm speaking about it with him also around the dangers of what Palantir is doing and the technology that they are pioneering in Israel and using to target civilians and journalists very precisely. Um, and I think everyone, if you have the power to, please go support Qasim in his work. I highly recommend him, and will continue to do so. And so, moving forward into some of the other comments, let's see here. I want to get to the comment you made, education on cookies, because I think that's a great question. I always limit the cookies that I share when I go to a website. You can always manually opt to deselect some of the cookies that are available for your website. What cookies do? So I'm a prior software engineer. I was a senior DevOps engineer. I built deployment pipelines and production software in enterprise systems for franchise management, and I've built Alexa skills and internal software for Amazon. So I have some experience in the field, over 6 years as a software engineer. And I learned a little bit about cookies along the way. So cookies are what are your personalization mechanism for websites. They're what provide your personalized experience on the internet. It's part of the Internet of Things movement overall, but it's also just a general part of the internet. It is very much a metadata collection tool. And that is one of the largest pieces of metadata collection are your cookies. And I always now recommend people to opt out of some of the cookies. I will put together a list next time I go on, say, a website of recommended cookies that are available, but I would always recommend to limit the cookies that are available for you if you are on web pages or, say, a Google browser like Chrome or even Safari for Apple or things like that. Is turn off your location tracking unless it's absolutely needed. Is so like when you do a Google search and it asks, um, can we use your location for this? Say no. Um, like, don't give them more information than you need to. Like, if it's something that you can do a generalized search on without having them know, like, do an actual geo ping on your location, say no. Um, but for websites, um, you do want to have some cookies because it is personalization. Like, the internet is personalized now. And that's one of the things that makes the internet so great and usable, is that it is personalized. And it gives you a lot more functionality through that personalization. However, you want to limit some of it. Like, if they give you the option to have your data not be sold, always select do not sell my data. Like, every single 100% of the time, if you need to select do not sell my data if it's an available option. um, but overall, cookies are a tough one because they bring you the internet of the modern age, where it's closer to you. It's almost an internet of you. um, so each of our internet experiences are very tailored and very algorithmically chosen for each one of us. Um, that's another thing that you can impact by selecting or deselecting cookies, is um, you make yourself less predictable in terms of what data you're providing to websites. So sometimes maybe select all the cookies. If it's a website that maybe you're just only going to go to once and um, you don't need to, like, come back to ever again, select all the cookies if you want, or don't select any of them. If you don't want any personalization for a website because you know you're never going to go to it again, deselect all the cookies. It's cool. Like, have a boring, bland website. Sometimes that's okay. Hey, everyone coming in. Hey, Lisa, Morgan, 1 minute. Good to see everybody. I'm glad y'all are here. Even Heidi, I see you in there too, asking some questions. Thank you, everyone, for the comments and the interaction um, throughout all of this right now. And so, where does this get us in terms of, like, your metadata is and how it makes you more unpredictable? And what that means for a system is, because the internet is so tailored, one of the ways that we could impact an AI system is we could all choose to make it more generic. I'll get there, Morgan. Don't worry. Um, I said something small at the beginning, but I'll get there. Don't worry. Um, and is maybe it's okay that we make the internet more generic again, because if it's more generic, maybe it's slightly more boring. And slightly more boring for the internet is probably a good thing, because then it's less likely to entrap people. It's less likely to suck you in. If the internet isn't calling to you and acting like this tool that brings you into it all the time, maybe you're less likely to use it every day. or every second of the day. Maybe you're more likely to step away from it and get some time out in nature or walking around. Hey, Tecolote. I hope I said Tecolote. Tecolote. Um, uh, but welcome, everybody. Even all y'all latecomers. I'm glad everybody's coming in and asking questions um, and liking and joining us. I'm sorry that Shane wasn't able to join us today. He had some Wi-Fi problems. But we've been going into just simple things that y'all can do and or that we all can do. Um, wall, no, it doesn't make sense if it's wall because that's a real word. Y'all of us can do um, is we can collectively change the algorithm by and collectively change how the internet is used or how the internet is viewed or how metadata is viewed as groups by making it slightly more generic, because they as in the techno fascists and JD Vance and Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and Russell Vought and Stephen Miller and all of the shitty people behind Donald Trump that are um, really the ones driving all of this make the internet more generic because they want the internet white. And if we make all of it look the same anyways, then they can't distinguish who's white, who's black, who's brown, who's anywhere in between. Like, sucks to suck for them, I guess. Like, I'm okay with having a slightly boring internet that doesn't drive me into it or one that doesn't drive my kids into it. If it means that my neighbor doesn't get scooped up by ice, like, that's cool with me. I'm fine with that. Like, that's not a sacrifice. Like, it's super easy to change those things. The coming into another question that leads into all that is around all of this, Donna, you ask is what if you cannot reject any cookies? That's okay. It's okay if you can't reject any cookies. Sometimes you're going to have to go to a site that doesn't allow you to reject. That being said, as far as I know, every site now, at least for now, requires you accept the cookies that they're going to use it on the at least on the first time you enter that page. So if you've been to a page before, you can change your cookie settings. I will see about putting up like a maybe a quick how-to guide on how to change cookie settings on a website. That if that is helpful, that's probably something easy I could get together for everybody to be able to have. And yeah, make us pink, make us green, make us something that's not um, a shade of beige. Like that would be great. Like we can all be a little bit less beige, like sad beige baby lifestyle, and that shit is boring. Like they're boring people. They're trying to make everything boring. We can make things generic without making them boring. Like the internet can still be a lot of fun, more generic, where good music is what we all want, or good videos are what we all want, or um, a manosphere that doesn't suck. Like part of Palantalk is is building a space where men are talking about things in a way that isn't right wing framed hatred. And I'm not trying to code you into being a little zealot for bigotry or trying to groom people. Like, I don't. That shit's fucking gross. And but that's all they do. That's all they do is they fucking use it to groom people and like build bigotry and hate and make society white and make people hate themselves for being themselves and enjoying life and having fun and doing things that aren't sad beige baby. Like, we can make the internet generically beautiful. Like, art is something that crosses all boundaries. Um, so one of the ways that you make yourself more generically beautiful without taking away your identity is don't add so many labels to yourself. Like, just simplify how you view yourself, um, so that you can express your art or your creativity, your music, or your love as true to you as possible. Because I think we've been taught that we have to label ourselves in so many different little groups to try and figure out where we fit in best, like adding so many different titles to our names, or calling ourselves by what we work as. Like, you're only who you are because of what you work as, or you're only a dad, or you're only a stay-at-home mom, or you're only a stay-at-home dad, or you're only a whatever. Like, there's 10,000 different labels that we provide ourselves throughout every single day. This is this is something that we can all do, especially people who are white. This is really, really a talk to people who look a lot like me, and who have the privilege to do this and make this change in a way that doesn't bring on the hatred. Like, I don't want you to forget who you are, or act like who you are, or be who you are. I want you to be safer so that we can all be who we are. Like, I want everyone to feel good and comfortable. I don't want, like, that's one of the things I've really picked up for myself, for my friends, is I don't ever want to have the conversation where people are have to, like, come out every single day. Like, I want people to fit in. I want people to feel comfortable. Like, we want to normalize everybody. That's the whole that's the point. Well, not everybody. We want to normalize everybody within reason. We want to normalize humanity. We want to normalize personhood. We want to normalize the intrinsic values of a person, not the artificial values that are placed on us by labels. Like, labeling myself as a software engineer, or as a podcaster, or as a show host, or as whatever extra stuff. That's just all extra. That's all metadata that they want us to add to ourselves to make it easier to identify who we are, and to predictively identify what we're going to do. So strip off some of your labels, strip off your unnecessary labels. I am a white male who just is doing his thing. Like, I'm Nick Perro. I'm a white dude. That's about the labels I might claim. Like, I'm in the LGBTQ plus community. I'm happily married. I'm a dad, but I don't need all the extra labels. Like, I'm me. I'm Nick Perro. Um, and that's the easiest one to accept, is accept your own label first, as your name and who you are, and be happy as who you are, and create, because part of the chaos is humanity. We are the chaos factor. Like, come out and create. I write poetry every day and put out things every day, create creatively, so that there's chaotic noise, so that there is noise within the vacuum that otherwise wouldn't be there. If Shane and I did not have this talk on Palantir and Palantalk and minimizing your metadata, and doing simple things like wearing a mask if you're sick, or with people who are sick, and just having a more generic mask, rather than maybe like generic masks, you and your friends match each other. You have a pattern or a theme that you go with, but nobody sticks out, so that you're less identifiable from each other, but you're still having fun. Like, you're still being yourselves. You're not hiding who you are. You're just making it less identifiable that you're uniquely separate. That way, they can bucket you into the general group of people who do all these people things that everybody is doing, people-y ish. like, which means when we predictively profile people that might be in their system labeled as like brown, let's say, or Hispanic, whatever racist, bigoted term they want to use to bucket people, like however they want to do non-white, um, and their shrinking group of non-white, like all of that is going to be upended if enough of us just go, yeah, we're going to have fun being who we are, wearing hats, wearing masks, wearing sunglasses, fitting in with each other, being really generically like unviewable from above, while personally like beautiful from in front. Like make yourself you and hide yourself from that. If that makes sense. Like cameras are above for the most part, um, so you don't have to hide who you are. And so yeah, so that's a lot of what you can do. There's a lot of it's just a lot of easy, simple things. So quick recap before I get to Morgan's question from before, because I know she'll explode if I don't talk about it. Um, is is minimize your metadata, is wear hats if you have them. If you don't, go find some. Everybody looks good in a hat. Everybody looks good in a cool hat. Like there is no not there's no person out here who cannot wear a hat and look good at some point in it. Like wear a fun hat, find a fun hat. um, Find some sunglasses, maybe bring back big sunglasses as a trend. Like big old sunglasses, ain't nobody gonna stop you from wearing those. People wear that shit all the time. Like bring that back as a trend. Who cares? Wear a mask if you're sick. Wear a mask if you have friends who are sick that you're with. Wear a mask if you know you're going somewhere where there are going to be a lot of sick people. Um, yeah, wear the fuck out of hats. I love hats. There's a reason I'm kind of bald in the back and on the top is I wear a lot of hats when I go out. Um, and have fun hats and make coordinated things with groups, like make large groups of people that you're going out with, like make a hat party. Like if you're going out with friends, like for a Friday night, invite everybody to wear a hat. Like make it fun, make it something that we all want to do, make it a stylish choice. Yeah, dark brand in it, because it's a simple thing that we can do that they can't stop, and it fucks with the algorithm. And that's really what we can do. Is their strategy was flood the zone, which really translates for us now is everything everywhere all at once, and we need to do that all the time. Like do fun things, like wear big hats. um, and then when you're on the internet, minimize your cookies. Change your cookie habit a little bit. Um, try and opt out of cookies where you can. I will, like I said, I will see if I can put together a quick how to on maybe how to change cookie settings for websites that you've been to, if they're the same across the board. But toss some cookies out and simplify your footprint. Ain't nobody gonna be mad with a slightly more boring internet, especially parents. Like boring internet, better. Um, and then um, always, obviously, always, if they give you the choice where it says "Do not sell my data," always choose to have your data not sold. Like never willingly sell your data. If you are on a website or things like that that you go to frequently and you can change your settings there to sell less of your data or have them use less of your data, do that. Just do simple changes. Nothing that you really have to work hard for. It's a low entry point to actually do a lot of good. Um, and so that really concludes our Palantalk for today. We are just at the top of the hour, and I want to address the one final piece. Oh, yes. And Heidi, thank you for that. Is turn off facial recognition. Is if your phone uses Face ID or has the option of a um, Donna, that's a great question, and maybe we can get into that another day. Um, because that's a good question. Um, is turn off your facial recognition and use just a passcode. They because specifically because the police cannot force you to unlock your phone if it is a passcode. They can if it's facial recognition because they can just point it at you and oops, accidentally your phone is unlocked. Don't let yourself ever be in a situation like that because it's so easy to avoid. Um, yeah, we could talk about that education, do a video on addressing training AI as a job. Um, I think that would be really interesting. And I'll talk to Shane about that for our discussion next week. Um, and I capture all the chat logs so that I can look back and make sure that I remember who was here. Like see all the great comments y'all leave, and make sure that we can address things that are left. So thank you for leaving these comments too. And yes, also have a great Labor Day, everybody. Um, Hopefully, nobody is laboring too hard throughout this day. I know everybody really is, but I hope you can relax a little. And then the final piece is to get to some of the questions, Morgan, I know you asked, and I appreciate it. Is Thursday, my son broke his forearm, both bones in his forearm. And unfortunately, my family does not have insurance. We're working on getting into the financial assistance with the hospital um, and some of the other available public options that we could get into to provide insurance. However, we are about to be hit with a really, really large unexpected medical bill. Um, and I have put out an unexpected ask for help. And I still am asking for help if people would be willing to join the Sick of the Shit with Nick publication as paid subscribers, as founding subscribers. Right now, those are pretty well going to make sure that we can pay for medical and bills that are just about to hit us. The overwhelming support um, over the weekend has helped us pretty well pay for just the ER visit without the ambulance and other things. Um, every every dollar helps, Morgan. Yeah, every dollar helps. Like I have a sale going on my network for 50% off for the first year. Um, and I'm also yeah, we're working towards getting as much assistance as we can, education, but I'm also using this as an opportunity to use some of my self like growth and mental health growth to actually reach out and ask for help when I need it. And the Substack community and the Facebook community and friends and family have been overwhelmingly gracious and supportive, and it means a lot. It means a lot to me and my family. It means so much to me personally, um, and the more support I can garner, um, the better, because then I can actually stay on air and not have to get a separate full time job. So if you can, please come over to my network and support. I did post Venmo, PayPal, Cash um, pinned to the top of my network page. So if any of you are willing to become paid subscribers, that would be amazing. Founding subscribers are also wonderful and amazing, and you get some awesome benefits with that too. Um, and then I cannot obviously not leave without, or I cannot leave without obviously plugging this network. Um, we are a civic space co-founded by myself, Lawrence Winterman, and Frederick Pogue, um, and now in partnership with some amazing other contributors like Melissa Corrigan, Ellie Leonard, and Shane Urich. Um, we are we're we're having an amazing outpouring of support from people and friends and growing this network. Please join Banner and Backbone. It's bannerandbackbone.com. It's as easy as we could make it. Um, it's about civic understanding and learning. We're building out some great shows for the network. We're getting some great guests on tomorrow. Is a vet talk with me, Melissa Corrigan, and Ken Harbaugh of the Valor Media Network and Midas Media, or Midas Touch, and he is a retired Navy pilot, and so please join us tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time for that talk. And I rambled a little here at the end to make sure that I got some information out. And my son is doing okay. The big thing there, Morgan, yes, is my son is doing okay. He's recovering well. He's got a big old cast on his arm. It is his non-dominant hand, so he was very lucky. He did not break his wrist, which is really really lucky on the way he fell. And they were able to set his bones without doing major invasive surgery for it. So no pins and needles were needed at this time. We had an incredible nursing, surgical, and anesthesia team at the hospital. Like amazing, they did fantastic work. I can't speak highly enough of them. I obviously won't reveal which hospital and things like that, but they have done an amazing job for us. We were really fortunate. Our EMTs were amazing. His friends were amazing. His friends biked to our house from the park and then biked back to make sure that we knew and that an adult was coming. And that because he was playing at the park where he normally is, where there's other adults and kids playing all the time, and that's what happens. He's a kid. It happens. He broke his arm, and it happens. And he's very fortunate in the end. And the unfortunate part really isn't for him. It's for mom and dad. It's for us. Um, it's a huge hit financially, but it was a huge emotional stress this past weekend, and I'm still trying to recover for it. I have fibromyalgia, so my body responded very, very negatively throughout the weekend. And it's right now I'm in a bit of a fog, so I apologize if I've rambled through a lot of this today. Hopefully it was helpful. Um, and yeah, it puts a lot of stress. The medical system in this country, in the US, is broken. It's not a healthcare system. It is a disaster response system. And that's all it is. And we need to fix it. And there's a lot we need to do. Um, and so I thank you all for being here with me today. I really appreciate the support. The over 100 people hanging out with us today, right now. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to both Banner and Backbone and to my network, Sick of This Shit with Nick. Sick of This Shit with Nick, as I don't enunciate my words for a second. And to remember, too, for the Banner and Backbone Network, all proceeds are currently being used to support Epstein victim related litigation and pro democracy efforts. Um, and so please come support us there. Share, like, subscribe. Free subscribes and follows are amazing right now as well. All interaction really helps the network build. And we look forward to seeing y'all again. So come back next Monday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Shane Urich and I will be back for another Palantalk. Um, and have a great week, y'all. Work on minimizing that metadata and maximizing your impact. Thanks, everyone.